this video we'll be talking, I'm not going to summarize how the energy works and stuff like this, but what I figure out is I can explain, which has been the biggest mystery, as how gravities and what is gravities and how it works. When you understand how the energy comes from and in what form it is, then it clears out all the fog and the cobweb, to how they understand how things work, because everything is mechanical. Gravitation on this planet is created by two types of energy: the low resonance of the planet and the high resonance from the atmosphere. And when you have a high resonance, obviously it will counterbalance the low resonance. And what it created pressure, right? And this pressure, we call that atmosphere. Now, in the atmosphere pressure, if you raise a weight or an object, a mass, from this level of the planet, from the Earth, and you rise it up to the edge of the atmosphere, you lose gravities, because now you're out of that compression space, which we call, excuse me, we call that our atmosphere. The atmosphere is actually what really controls our gravities, and it controls us so well, since as gravitation, we are capable of walking on our feet. So if it was not a system of pressure difference and a volume of resonance difference, then you would not be able to walk normally, because you would not be able to stand on your feet, because the rest of the gravities would pull the rest of your body and tilt you, and you would be literally bouncing off your head. So that wouldn't work. But a perfect balance of gravitation is a perfect balance of pressure, and a perfect balance of volume and density of resonance, with two types of resonance: low, very low frequency resonance, which is coming out of the Earth, and also a very high frequency coming out of the atmosphere. Now, people said, how the hell I do that? Well, it's very simple. It's some mechanical test you can do, and this explanation I can do very well with a simple fact by using water, since our atmosphere is literally a light gas water. It's made of H2O. So if you look at, let's say, a certain temperature of water, let's say a room temperature water or an ambient temperature water, a bath, and you're putting another bowl in it, and you put a certain amount of water at the same temperature, you can literally mark where far it's going to sink for that same quantity of water of that smaller bowl floating on the top of the other large bowl of water. So now you can mark how far the bowl will sink. Now you take this water and you change the temperature, you make it cooler, and you will find out your bowl with the same amount of water in it will sink deeper than the ambient temperature, which the small bowl and the big bowl had. If you reverse that, you put warmer water in the bowl, the same amount, it will rise up and float higher from the top of the water. It's a simple test. Any moron out there can actually do that. You don't have to do a mathematical calculation that goes nowhere for the next 20 years to do a simple test, right? And another thing, why people get sore legs when they're standing on concrete? Because I used to stand a lot on the concrete, everybody around me used to stand a lot on the concrete. We were putting industry together, which the first thing we do is pour the foundation and then pour the 8 to 10 to 14 inch stick on steel reinforced concrete to put all the equipment, which is either paper mill or sawmill, heavy equipment. And everybody gets sore legs. Well, you have a person who worked along a big piece of equipment. We solve the sore legs by just putting a 3/4 of an inch or 5/8 of an inch of a fairly dense rubber so the person can stand on rubber, suddenly his sore legs goes away. Well, see, concrete is like ceramic, and ceramic amplify resonance. Straight fact. You know, I can test, I can show you all the tests and how much it multiplied the output of resonance with a neon bulb, because neon bulb, soon you bring in true resonance, it lights up by itself. It doesn't need any energy. It takes the energy directly from the resonance. So it's another phenomenon I can mechanically and physically show to the scientists. Right? So why of nobody so far cannot explain gravity? Because they don't have a clue what resonance and how resonance works on this planet. It's a compression system of two different types of resonance. So, and this is the type of resonance I use, or Tesla used, to extract. Now, like I don't want to go too far into that because I already explained that in my last video, and I'm my God, I'm getting flooded. I mean, I spent all day and all day yesterday. Soon that video got put on there late yesterday. The comment and the email just doesn't stop. I mean, I spend most of my day today read up the comment, mark it, and give, I put my loose sample there to let people. I read you an email. The one I really I agree with it, I give you a thumbs down. The one I don't agree, I will give you a thumb down, thumb up if I agree. If I'm just reading it and just try to figure it out what the hell you tried to say, I just give you my loose sample. But I appreciate all the people as comment. Even the Muppet head. You guys make me crack. I mean, this is entertainment for me. So please don't stop making those stupid comments because they're funny, because the reply from other people to your comment cracks me up, literally. So anyway, that's just a little funny part of it. But the understanding, when Tesla was understanding where the energy and what the energy was, that's why he was like, he had no limit. It removed the doubt of everything, because you're removing the lie. It's called labeling. If I label a name on something, I put a label, that's what it's called, and if it's not what it is, and I don't tell the person it's not what it is, then he will take it for fact, right? So remove all the label of all the bullshit you learn, like the photon, the proton, and all that stuff, the microphoton, and who knows what the hell they come out, because when they run out of label, they go back and the office and make more new label, right? Stop all this nonsense. It is pure nonsense. I don't care how many trillions of dollars you guys spend and saying how things work, and you cannot still prove it with trillions of dollars of instrument. You cannot prove it. So stop it. Just stop it. Okay? You're not going anywhere with that. I can prove everything I'm talking because I did the physical test. And he said, why you don't do it on video? Matter of fact, down the road I will do all the fact I've been talking about. I'm going to show it to you in a physical way. Today, I don't really care, because do your own homework, do your own tests. I told you how to do the test of gravity, how to change gravity in water. Temperature, well, there we go, temperature. Well, I said, wow, this temperature. Temperature, cold, hot, boiling, is only a difference of resonance. That's how water changes temperature. You're literally vibrating the molecule of water to heat it up to a certain frequency, or you drop the frequency lower enough so you can actually freeze water. Oh, now we're talking about mechanical device to be able to prove my point. Wow, how can I come up with that? It's very simple, because the world is Motion, the world is mechanical. And I have a very active mechanical mind. So if I run out of way of testing, I will make new way of testing, because that's what a mechanical mind does. It doesn't get stuck too much. I mean, I have my mechanical mind. It's fairly deep, and then people have other mind is fairly deep and different field. I have one guy who sent me from UK. Matter of fact, I just replied a few minutes ago. He did a very good explanation. Matter of fact, I don't think I can, even if I try hard, I couldn't do any better than him, except one explanation on how the spark gap work. And for a while I thought the spark gap, you know, when I was getting multiplication, amplification of my volt and the energy coming out after the spark gap, I thought that it was gathering the energy from the surrounding, from the ambience. But then when I start thinking about it, I said, okay, what's happening in that spark gap? I'm releasing a massive amount of energy, jumping as an empty space. So I said, how can I do that? Because if you would look the spark gap under a different spectrum, you will see the spark gap when it start crackling. It create, when the crackle, that the frequency is high enough and you just straight crackle, non-stopping, it create a donut around the gap of the spark plug, and it will create, called that a pressure ring. Now you have a pressure ring around that opening gap, so no other energy can go there, because is that one now is under pressure and this one is not under pressure, so lack of pressure cannot penetrate pressure. Simple as that, right? You can't blow air in a bottle. You know that, right? I hope the science world know about that. You cannot blow air, any volume of air, in a bottle, because it's a void, right? So now we know the gap, the spark gap, do not collect any energy around it because of this ring of pressure. And each gap, it will be a donut of pressure. So no energy can go there from the surrounding. What increase the energy output of the spark gap is not how much volt you put into the spark gap. You have to put enough volt to make the spark gap function. But the material of the spark gap, the rods, the material of the rods, if you use stainless steel, you will have a different reaction, way low volts than tungsten. If you use impure tungsten, because you can buy a tungsten rod with a different element into it, you will have a different volts. Tungsten is not a steel, because it cannot be flexed, it snaps. Any steel material, even the hardest steel in the world, will flex. Not bend, flex. It's the difference between flexing and bending. Again, for all the science world out there, is a difference, a big difference. It's night and day. It's like trying to flex a candy cane. It doesn't. You can flex glass, but you cannot flex candy cane. It just, it snap, it break, it explode. So is a tungsten rod. But what I find out is, to get more output of my spark gap, with not increasing the input into it, all you have to do is increase the mass of the spark gap. That means use bigger rod of pure tungsten. And as soon you use a bigger rod, your output goes up. I mean, a lot. And a lot. Bigger the spark gap, more energy you get on the output for the same input. So this is why I said magnification and amplification is done in the spark gap, not in the transformer yet. You want to amplify and magnify resonance. You want to remove the sine wave and amplify and magnify the resonance, so you have a higher potential. Now, those are simple tests. Thousands of people have my voodoo machine, and they're using 5/16 or 5/32 or 3/16, try to use a bigger tungsten, pure tungsten rod. Just have to change your rod on your spar gap, and then suddenly it's just like hurricane. The power expand, explode out of the output of the spar gap. So there again, physical test, physical result, something you can see. I don't suggest you to touch it, but you can see and you can read the instrument on the other hand. So this is true testing and research and science, not a whiteboard or a blackboard or a special calculator, you know, for scientific calculator. I don't have none of this shit, okay? Because I can't stand all this garbage, because that's called putting a label on item you should not put that label on. So at this point in time, I'm putting, and since you heard me in my other video, I put a lot of challenge for physicists and scientists to come and prove me wrong, right? Now, since they cannot explain gravitation, or some people say, no, gravity doesn't exist, they're full of shit. Gravity does exist. It's a form of gravity. It's a form of balance of pressure, of resonance, from high to low. And we are in between that. We are in a sandwich of compressing. It's a compressed. Well, if you really look, when you look at the Earth from our lab, space lab we have up there. Now, of course, we don't believe in all we see from there, from NASA, because it's very hard, you know. But you see a layers of white around the Earth. That's your atmosphere. They're above that. But because the light, you know, the light comes through the brightness, right? Not the yellow light from where you think the sun, because when you're out, matter of fact, you don't have to be out in the atmosphere. At 10,000 feet, that sun is not yellow anymore. It's bright white, and the sky is deep, deep, deep blue, like navy blue, not that pretty blue. That pretty blue is caused by the gas below. So you walk through that gas, and you're not breathing any other gas but the gas of that level, and you will see the true color of the sky and the true color of the sun. It's not yellow, it's bright white. And ask any real mountain hiker, where they climb mountains and stuff like this and go past the 10,000 feet, they will tell you the same thing. It's a bright white disk in the sky. So now I'm putting a challenge to all those scientists. Everybody, I don't care what race you are, right? You can be 80 if you want. Again, I'm challenging you to prove what I say about gravity and how energy work, that I'm wrong, and I'm explaining it wrong, because you better have a physical backup to your bullshit, because that's all you're feeding people, is bullshit. Now I'm challenging you, all scientists out there, good or bad. The good one will come up and sit down with me and look at all that stuff, and they will make up a judgment for what they touch and see. And I want to see the other type of scientists, the bullshit scientists, to come here and try to prove me wrong. I mean, they have all the fucking money they want, because they get paid millions of dollars to sit and lie. So for them to make a trip to come and see me, and we'll be on, you know, in the front of a camera, if they can prove me wrong, on a desk, on a table, on a bench, I will go on camera and say I was the biggest jackass in the world. Well, I think people call me that already, if I'm right. Someone called me grumpy old man. But anyway, hey, that's the way it goes, man. Right? So, you know, people say, well, you seem to be pretty cocky. Well, I have a reason for it. I try to do my own work. I try to do my research, you know, the best I can possibly come with a perfect logical function, who actually is doable in this planet with your two hands. That's all you need. And a little bit of brain up there, you know, to make those two hands work, so they don't fight each other. And it's amazing what you can achieve of understanding. For the last 3 weeks, my understanding, when I figured out exactly what the energy was, the understanding and all the crap we've been fed, spoon-fed, from the first day we've been putting our foot in school, is disgusting. You know, I have comment constantly coming up, and people from all over the world saying, oh my gosh, I finally see what you're talking about. Because they watch my video, they go into their little lab or their garage or their basement, and they do some tests, and suddenly, oh, gee whiz, I didn't know that worked that way. Or, huh, why I'm getting more than what I'm putting out? Because I didn't quite understand the beginning. Look, if you look at my first video, I was using the labels. I was using the meaning of the label with the action of the label, and then I was not quite getting that. And hey, I have to go through the whole process, 4 years, to go through the process of removing the bullshit and bringing up what's actually happening. I'm not calling that the true yet. Till I test it 4, 5, 6 times and duplicate the same thing over and over and over, then I have a successful test with successful result, because I can duplicate that result. It's not something that only happened once. You know, you have to be able to make it on demand, and always the same result. And that's what I do when I'm in the lab and I'm in the shop. If it doesn't do, if I only have one, I had many tests, I can only do it once. So I call it as a failure, but I still have information and data which I was going to keep, so I don't repeat this failure. Now I may change some of the way I'm going to do, you know, to see if I can get a different output out of it. And if it does have a different output, then I try to duplicate that. If I can duplicate that one, then now I'm going the right direction. Now I have something to work with, because now I can duplicate that over and over and over. Now I have a friend of mine in Alberta, in Edmonton, who did right away when he heard me about talking about Tesla, about, you know, the vertical shaft compared to the horizontal shaft generator, or I call them pump now, but you know, the label says generator, right? So he's got a voting machine. He's been using that for a long time, and has been doing experiment and people that react with it and all kinds of stuff, right? So I don't want to go too deep into it, but it's all kinds of the voting machine. The name of the machine speak for itself, right? So he decided to say, hey, I'm going to try that. So he took his pump and his motor, his drive motor, and he flipped it so all the shaft, they're all vertical. And he make the loop pump spin counterclockwise, because it's DC motor and you can reverse the polarity of the wire on the DC, and it will spin the other way. It's a brush motor. And he says, oh my gosh, it's a different machine again. It puts out more, it runs smoother. Yeah, because when you spin something counterclock like this, you're not fighting the rotation of the earth. Oh yeah, this flat earth business, the earth doesn't rotate, the universe rotates around us, right? Well, whatever it affected, counterclockwise make things easy and self-balance itself, so you have less vibration, so the noise is less. Now those again are mechanical tests and results. From one way to the other way, suddenly it it improved the machine, improved the output. Now, Mr. Scientist over there, what you did, what you doing all day long? You know, what are you really doing all day long? Most of the time, I'm putting something together and I'm banging my finger and painting it and stuff like this, and you know, singing the song, you know, and bringing every single angel out of the sky. But in the end of the day, I actually achieve a mechanical thing. I can turn around and see behind me, or look at my bench, and I made something and I tested. Solid evidence. Right? Nothing more. It's nothing beat solid evidence. It's like how playing, you know, you're playing poker, right? And you get 4 aces and a blackjack to go with it. Now tell me which hand beat that. Unless you're making a hand with five aces, and you only have 4 aces on the deck of cards. So, you know, let's cut the bullshit. You know, and I invite everybody to come up and have a decent conversation. I'm not going to beat anybody because people want to sit down and talk about stuff. I have no problem with that. But I tell you right now, if you want to do some science and research, you have to have mechanical mind, and you have to be able to put stuff together. It doesn't matter what. I don't care if you use wood, if you use plastic, if you use an old PVC pipe. I don't care. Put something together. Wind something up. See the result of it. It's actually give you a good feeling in the end of the day. Even if you get zapped and you get, you know, a shock, you know, it literally knocked the pupil out of you. In the end of the day, you said, holy shit, I didn't know that could do that. So you experience, you live the experience, you feel the experience, and you have data in the end of that. I don't know what science is, but to me that looks like science, right? So, you know, gravity is a very simple thing to explain when you know what is around you, what makes the world live, you know. And I had lots of comment about, they all agree about the double helix of life. Your DNA, when they show you your DNA string, is another Hollywood movie. It doesn't look like this. Okay? The 2 strands do not spin in the same direction. The true DNA is clockwise and counterclockwise, and every 360 degrees of rotation they connect themselves, and then they go around and then connect themselves, and then they go around and connect themselves. That's how your DNA code is constructed. And if you don't believe me, go back into the Asian book, the Asian tablet. They will show you. You know, I didn't make it. I can see it through a tube. I can see it about double helix through a tube, because that's what Tesla was using as an instrument. He had to see his wave. He had to see which one was the positive, negative, counterclockwise, clockwise. Doesn't matter he had to see it, visualize it, and see it, produce it, and then sit and watch that. And that's what I did. Playing with stuff. Watching it, why that does that? Oh, that's kind of neat, look at that, right? But it's doable. You know, it might take you a little bit of time, but it's doable. You can achieve it. And what I'm telling people in the last 2 or 3 videos is how energy is. This big mystery. The whole mystery of where's the energy? It's right in the front of you. Underneath your feet and the top of your head and around you. You just have to manipulate it. You don't have to. You're not manufacturing nothing. You're not creating anything. You just manipulate the damn thing just like we manipulate water. Water cannot be destroyed, it cannot be manufactured. So how can we run out of water on this planet? I want any scientist to explain that to me. To anybody picking up water and put it in a little spaceship and whoosh, shooting out of space, out of an atmosphere, right? Unless they can show me the little guy doing that on a real video or take me to a place and I can watch it, right? It's just theories. But since now we know we cannot destroy water or make water, so how can we run out of water? The only thing we do with the water, we polluted the crap out of it. It's more chemical and bird pill and antibiotic in our water than we have mineral now. We came and drink, we used to be, in BC 30 years ago, you could go in the bush and drink up any creek. Only thing you have to watch is in the summer when the water was warm, you know, is called beaver fever, right? I mean, it's caused by beavers upstream pooing in the water. But you only get that when the water is warm in the hot summer. You don't get that when the water is cold, because the bacteria can't live in cold water. So just do some proper testing. Any kids who watch that, any people who watch that, you know, don't take anything people tell you as correct, including what I'm telling you. Have the balls to go out and do the test. And you will find out, like all the people playing with the voting machine and my stuff, you know, including the 2 transformer, you can double your input and current by just jumping 2 transformers together with a small amount of current. You double your currents. I didn't invent a transformer. I connected the way that people said, it's gonna blow. I heard that so many times around me, it's gonna blow, it's gonna blow. I said, what the hell is gonna blow in there? It's not filled up with explosive. It's filled up with an oil, which is, you know, a non-conductive oil, and it keeps the moisture out of the transformer out inside the coil. And the oxygen in the air inside the coil, you know, is replaced by the oil. And it keeps us as a cooling also. So I didn't know why the hell I can make this thing explode, right? If you put enough potential in it, I could see that would be a thing, because I see transformer exploding off, connecting into the high transmission line. But I never see any big transformer who's running from a big transmission line. I'm putting 1200 watt, 1400 watt into it, that little thing making this thing explode. You know, you could not, even if that motor was putting into a compressor, I would have a hard time to believe I can make this whole casing explode. But hey, okay, we just have to visualize it and then do the test on it. So my whole point of it is I cannot do any more simple explanation of how the energy works. I explained in my last video how the vortex on both sides of the shaft, how they work. If it's horizontal, you got to force the vortex to go down because it's got to go to the earth, and the other vortex to go up that way. And that causes a braking system because you're forcing the nature. Nature doesn't like to bend. Energy like the direct way. They don't like to bend at all. When they bend, you're paying a price for it. So just think about it for a minute, and if there's anybody want to bite on my challenge, I would appreciate. You know, but you have to be. You got to show me you are a scientist and a researcher. You will have to show me you did something. You know, how you do your research, and then how you do stuff. Then we can start talking and exchanging how we do stuff, and then after that we'll go into the lab and do the test. Because now we became on the same page. So, okay, I can help you. You need this, you need that. You know, you got to put that something like that. Yeah, we can all do that, right? and then we'll see your test. But if you just come here with a scientific calculator or a tablet, you're not showing me shit, because you cannot prove anything you show me on your computer or your tablet. So this video, that's all I want to say on it. I don't want to make it too long, and I want the people to really think about it, because it explains everything. It explains people have power to heal, Reiki energy, manipulate energy around the body. We have the same type of resonance, and all our existence flow around us, and there's a resonant form, and a certain resonant form. So I just want you guys to really think about it, about what I said about labeling, putting tags and names on stuff which doesn't belong there. So on that note, I will let you go on that one, and hopefully that gives you some food for thought. But gravities, that one there, I'm not backing out of it. I don't back out of many things, but this one there hit me so hard I can't even fantasize of backing up of it. It's all about mass, energy, displacement. It's all about be able to see what you're working with, and how can you manipulate. It's for everything. It's manipulation. You cannot create nothing. You cannot make nothing, except we can manipulate it. And this is the life of Tesla. Manipulation of the energy. Make the energy work for you, not against you. So, on that note, I would let you do, after you watch this video, you can make your own mind, you can do your own little test, and you will come to a conclusion. Physical test is much better than reading out a book. So, and that's the reason I'm not writing a book yet. And a lot of people wish I should be writing a book. I'm not done yet. I will write a book probably when I'm done. When I do all my tests, I prove, and this controller's coming, we're studying the control, we're making sure we crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's, so we're not going to have a fake test or a fake result with the controller. So that's why I'm taking my time with it. We received it. I received it yesterday. Today's Friday, so I received it Thursday. The DHL, probably now, fourth time I use DHL. I'll never use another company again. Those people, they're on the ball. They're on time. Anybody want to do some shipping across the world, use DHL. No fuss, no muss, no stupidity. It goes there on time. All the UPS I use, Purolator, and all the other garbage, they think they own you. DHL, you are the customer. They service the customer. That's how they make their living. So I'm not getting paid for that. When I see a good thing, I pass it along. I don't need my hand out there for money to do so. So, and also we have to build a power supply to feed that controller. We can't feed the controller directly up the wall. I have to put more volt into it. So we're going to be building a 340 volt Variax, so we can plug into to 120, and we can crank it up to 340 volt, and then we're going to be able to adjust the voltage down from there. Since I don't need a whole lot of currents, I work with really very small currents. So we're just going to build that very quickly, me and my friend, and then we're going to do some major tests on that controller and the drum motor. So it will be interesting, because I'm going to do the test, the RPM test, the torque test on the full load. So we're going to be able to load it up to see how powerful that motor can be at whatever maximum we can push with this controller. And I already got information from the factory of the controller. They can build me controller way higher volt with more amp putting up. And I just, like, those guys are on the ball. They just bang, bang, they contacting and they say, hey, we can supply you with something, we can make something really quick for you to test. No, this is a company I'm going to work with. So everything is going, I think, forward now. I think it was a good thing. I kind of run out of the money, so I had some time to go through all my tests and my results and really munch that around and then figure out what the heck I was getting out of that. And I think that was kind of a blessing in the sky for me to have the time to back off for 3 months and then really take a good reflection on all my tests. So sometimes we overstep stuff. We do some good tests and then we put it aside and we never think about it. And you got to pull them out of the shelf and redo it again to really get you, oh, I forgot about that. That's right, right? So just let you know, never misunderstood a test and never forget about it. Always keep in mind, the information is always useful. And that note, folks, you have a good day, and hopefully I will hear from you. Probably Monday that video will be loaded up. So right now it's Friday here. Yeah, I can't wait to see your comment, because now I can see where I got people's thinking going the right direction. So, on that note, folks, you guys have a good day or a good evening, whenever you're watching this video, and hopefully everything will good, and we'll all be enjoying the result and the fruit of it in the end of the day. So you have a good night or a good day.